Hello, students. I'm going to continue tutoring you to do the advanced function grade 12 Hill-Ryerson chapter 3 text from question 10, part 2 of the chapter 3 text. Please subscribe the video. So I'm going to use a simplified way to express it. Let's start. Now, chapter 3 practice test. So part 2 from question 10 to finish the test today. So the acceleration due to the gravity is inversely proportional to the square of the distance from the center of the Earth. The acceleration due to the gravity from a satellite orbiting 7,000 km above the center of the Earth is 8.2 m per square relation. I'm going to illustrate on a piece of paper. Now it's asking you for the acceleration. So we're going to write acceleration is equal a constant number divided by the distance exponential. So now we're going to get the acceleration provided the book is 8.2. So what is the constant is unknown. But we do have the distance provided is 7,000 exponential. So now we got to find k. So k equal how much? Is 8.2 times 7,000 exponential. So we use the calculator. Now k is equal, 401 million and 800,000. So we're going to use this k, plug inside the equation. So we find the gravity, so it's this equation. So now we're going to plot it. So to plot the equation, so this is a quadratic inverse. So we only plot this one. So the next one, and we're going to find the graph is to express the. Now we do so when the gravity, so G, so it's equal 6. So 6 is equal. The constant is 401 million over the d square. So we're going to find the d square. So d square, so d is equal the square root of divided by 6. So we're going to use the calculator. So when you use a calculator, we got the D is equal 8,183 m. So that's for question 10. We're going to do question 11. Question 11 provided you the function P at T is equal 100T over T plus W. So what T stands for? The thickness of the blade. W stands for thickness of the wood. So we are going to do A. So sketch the function in the context of this situation when the wood has 13 mm thickness of a wood. So it means when W equals 30, so we write the equation. So it will be P at T is equal 100T over T plus 30. So to sketch it, we're going to write horizontal axle is equal 100. And vertical axle is equal negative 30. So we're going to plot it here. So the equation, we get a 100 here. Horizontal acetone. So we get a negative 30 here. A vertical acetone. Now we're going to get a y-intercept when x equals 0, when t equals 0, it will be 0. So the y-intercept. Now we plot the first one, it's a positive function. So if you want to text it on a number line, so you can do that. So negative 30, text negative 40 here. And positive, and yeah, a positive just 10 here. So if it's a negative 40, so we got negative. Divide negative. So we are going to get positive here. So how about a 10? So if it's a 10, we have one more part when t equals 0. So we're going to put 0 here, text for a 0. So we're going to text negative 10. So when it's a negative 10, we got negative. We got positive. So we got negative here. So how about when it's a 1? So we get positive. We get positive, we got positive here. So therefore, from negative 14 to 30, this portion is positive. And then to a negative 10 to 0 is negative. So we're going to plot it, the line. So positive, we put here. So from negative 10, from negative 13 to a 0, so it's negative. So we plot negative. V1 to the y-intercept. So, and then rise to positive, so gradually, but not over 100, because the blade never going down to 0, just close to the horizontal acetone. So after you plot it from the number line, we're going to do, now this is a rational functions domain and range. And this is the real questions domain and range substitution in a real situation, and also the variable. Like t is element of real numbers, t larger or equal 0. Why? Because t is the thickness of the blade. So it has to be like not go to negative. So it's going to be, decrease into larger than 0 or equal 0. Now, how about the range? So for the wood, for P and X is element of real numbers, it has to be larger than 0 and 100. So you cannot make the P and X is going to be smaller than 0 because the blade always extend and to cut the wood. That's how we explain it. Let's move on for question 12. Question 12, the function is P equal 100R over 2 plus R squared. So P stands for power and R stands for resistance and R. So A is asking you to plot it. So to plot it, we are going to get horizontal acetone and vertical acetones. Is equal 100. So, and then vertical acetone is -2. So, and then from here, we are going to text the intervals. So when R equals 0, -2, so we're going to test -3. We're going to test -1 and we test 1 here. So if a -3, we got negative divide positive. We got negative here. Now, how about -1? We got negative divide positive. So we still got negative here. So how about positive 1? Then we got positive divide positive. We got positive here. So and then from the test center side, we're going to plot the graph here. So we have a horizontal asymptote and vertical asymptote. So we're going to write like 100 here. And we put negative 2 here. So we're going to do the first part, like negative 3, negative 2 to infinity. So we got negative. So we plot the graph here. So from negative 2 to 0, negative. So and the y-intercept when x equals 0 is at the origin. So we plot negative and we went up. So you're going to get the point for 1, 2, and 12.5, it will be somewhere here. So we move up here. In the graph, gradually go to 0 here because it's the exponent 2. So the graph becomes like that. We got a vertex C point here. So, and from here, now the question from here, the B provide for the arms from 0 to 20. Then you substitution into the function 20 and 0. You're going to get a decrease because from 0 to 20 will be negative 4.1%. So therefore, the power decrease. The rate calculation equals 0, whole function equals 0. You only need to do the front part for plug in 20 here. Then you get the negative percentage. Now for C, when R equal to, so the power is, so when R equal to, the power is 12.5, is below the horizontal axis. So the power is a constant number and remain unchanged. That's for question 12. Now, question 14, the last question of the test. So we're going to explain f and x equal 1 over x exponent a. So, and then first identify horizontal asymptote. Vertical asymptote, it always equals 0 because the numerator is a constant number. Now, how about for n? If n is the odd degree, 1 over x. So we're going to plot it. So y equal 1 over x. Now how about y equal 1 over x exponent 3? Horizontal asymptote, no change. Vertical asymptote, no change. The odd degree always have two parabola. Positive is first and the third involved in the quadrant. Now we're going to move on the even degree. So 1 over x exponent 2. So the graph will be like that. So if it's a positive, so 1 here and 1 here. So how about for 1 over x exponent 4? So will be like that. That's the plot. So you identify odd degree always involved in a 1 and a third. So an even degree, positive function, 1 and second. And that's how you define it. And horizontal asymptote, vertical asymptote, always equals 0. Now we're going to define the slope. So the slope is positive. Yeah. And if it's a positive function, slope is great when x larger than 0. So for first paragraph. So all the y value f and x always positive. The slope is negative because going down. So we were going down. So and then for the odd degree when x, the slope is also we were down negative. And that's the summary for the question 13. Now we finish the entire test for unit 3. Now you can practice the test and try to maximize your ability and best efforts to do the unit test good and increase your mark. And this is Smart Kids Learning Center for the tutoring class for Unit 3 test. And I use a simplified way to explain to you, help you to understand easier. So please subscribe my video. Thank you. Bye-bye.